Hello everyone, welcome to another video with Cass on the Mesma channel. So today guys, I want to talk to you about the upgraded version of my Simple Tree farm that I made for the version 1.13.1 or .13 of the game. And yeah, it comes with a few upgrades, the main one being the wither cage here, which is capable of breaking the blocks that can be automatically stored for you. So I have been testing this for really long hours, more than 10 hours straight. And yeah, I have a lot to say and I want to get into as much detail as possible. So I want to start by doing a quick demonstration to you guys of how this works. And then I will try to address some of your questions. And finally, we're going to do a tutorial where I will try to explain as best as I can everything that I made in here, because I think I kind of underestimated the work you guys would have to do in order to have the wither cage and something to break the blocks automatically. And I might even quickly mention the implosion chamber, which is something a lot of people seem to be excited about. So yeah, if you want to know about all of that stuff, yeah, just keep watching. Alright guys, so let's start by taking a quick look at the redstone in here. It's pretty much the same. The bottom is completely refactored, but other than that, like the top and the sides are almost the same. Yeah, extended the storage, but this is nothing really special. It's just that it's now really convenient to be in this farm for many hours, so yeah, we really need to find a way of extending our storage for bone meal. Some people suggested to add a filter down here. It's very simple to add in this farm because we have the extra room now. And now, yeah, it filters for apples now. If you don't know, this farm works with both birch and oak without any changes. Same for that one. There is a kind of more compact version in there, but those are the same farm. I just used more conveyors in here to demonstrate things. So yeah, and the saplings actually now get stored in here by the side of the where the player is going to be. And here inside, also a few small changes. So yeah, now as you can see, the logs are pushed from the floor level, and what I had before was a system that lifted this block first. Oh, that was a mistake. So yeah, I would lift the blocks first, and then the double piston extenders would start from this position in there. Let me see if I probably didn't break anything, but just to be sure, I wanna check on everything in here. Okay, this seems to be all fine. Okay. Uh, all right. So I did this for two main reasons. So first, when you are on top of this guy in here, those logs are in front of you. So I wanted the player to have a clear view of what he's doing in there. But yeah. But now you can still aim at the dirt block, but you just have a short area to aim. And I also wanted to have a second dispenser here eventually on a future upgrade of the farm. But I decided to stick with simplicity. So this farm is focused on simplicity. So I got rid of this and made the entire setup a little bit more, a little bit easier and everything. And by the way, we should have a block in there. Always fixing things all the time. Okay, so yeah, I don't think there's anything to see other than the conveyors themselves. This is what I'm calling the compressor, and the final stage here that places 5 blocks at a time inside the wither cage. And I will try my best to explain everything that I possibly can about wither cages, or at least the bedrock based wither cages. There are other possibilities, so we will build those together. We'll talk about the nether and the end. And yeah, this is why this video is going to be a little bit longer. Okay, so let's activate the farm. This is going to be a little bit laggy, guys, so sorry for that in anticipation. And I actually also need to turn on the farm. So if I'm not stepping on the pressure plate, I can force the farm to be turned on by flicking the lever. So yeah, if you watch here, you can see how fast tree grows. The speed is the same, and the bone meal dispensers are a little bit more economic in this version because I added a weird set of pistons in here, and what this does is, well, There's a bunch of double piston extenders back here. Those are responsible for pushing the trunks of the trees. And while they are trying to retract, the bone meal dispenser is actually trying to make a new sapling grow, which is something that I was able to prevent before because I moved the dirt block so the player wouldn't be able to place another sapling as well. And since I don't have this in this version, I added a optional system that turns off the bone meal dispenser for a brief moment. I don't know if we're going to be able to see this in here. So yeah, you can see less particles every time the double extenders are retracting. So yeah, as a consequence, we're not going to waste as much bone meal. Okay, so let's take a look at the cage. You can see, possibly, hopefully, you guys are going to be able to see what the compressor does, which is basically transform a 5 tall trunk into a 3 tall structure. Because oak sometimes will grow, for oak saplings sometimes will grow to a 3, 4, or 5 high tree. And yeah, this is the final stage. This is the shape that it creates in here. And the cage is also interesting. We can take a look, a closer look. Yeah, awesome. So yeah, you can see that sometimes items land on top of the cobblestone wall, and this is why we have that the leaves back in there. So the detection system, the system that detects when wood is there in order to cause the wither boss to explode, is in the middle exactly for this reason. So items land on top of the cobblestone wall, but then they get pushed by the wood logs, and then they always land inside the hoppers. So we never waste items. So this should be 100% efficient in theory. And this is how I'm hurting the wither boss. So yeah, let me give you a good view from a distance. Yeah, now you can see. It's a very simple setup. I just use a solid block on 2 ticks in here. And as I told you guys, I have been testing this for over 10 hours. No problems. Wither boss is not capable of destroying this block. And yeah, here's how we do the detection. Here's the storage. Yeah, the storage is actually quite full at this point. Let's start by finding a proper wither cage for the wither boss. And I am no specialist in this area. If you want to know more about the subject, you should consult with the technical guys. So maybe someone from Prototech like Ray, or someone from SciCraft like Yomango. They have entire crews dedicated to that kind of stuff. And you don't even need bedrock for a wither cage. But I don't really trust wither cages, which is why I'm working on the blast chamber for my survival map. But this is not ready. I know you guys want to know about that. I have been researching a little bit, and if you go to my video called The Implosion Chamber, you will see me talking to other people, answering questions. And there's a person special, which unfortunately I'm not able to remember his name, but he's there, he's in the comments. And I will link him in the video description, because this guy has been working and he has some nice findings about blast resistance, blast radius, and obstacles and everything that we can do to improve blast chamber. So when the blast chamber is ready, guys, I will do the tutorial. So this is a formation that you can find in the nether. So if you're able to find this, like what people usually do is to have a creative copy of your map, and then you're going to try to find a 3x3 area. Like the ideal thing to find would be an area like this, but it's going to be really hard to find. But I just want to tell you that something like this will already work, because the wither can be in the very center of this cross in here, and yeah, this will work fine. So let me place this block back. So if you find something like that, you just go 2 blocks down from the center of the thing. You also have to inspect those blocks inside here, which you might not be able to do in survival. This is why you need a creative copy. So if you explore, sometimes if you break the netherrack blocks, you will find out the most important bit, which is this one. So if you have an air block here or netherrack block in here, then you're good to go. Because if you don't have air in here, the wither boss is going to die. That's all. So let me restore the netherrack here, because it doesn't matter, the wither boss is going to explode this anyways. Okay, so not on this block, but on this block. This is the block where the wither boss is going to be sitting on top. So we can just spawn the wither boss like this, and now it's going to sit exactly on top of the cobblestone wall. You should get some distance and check for the explosion, and there you go. So you can see his health bar here on top, and yeah, you can tell that this guy is not dying. So yeah, if he's able to see you, it's a really bad idea. So as much as possible, try to, cover his face so he cannot see any entities around himself. So, because if he does, he's going to focus on those entities and try to shoot those pesky skulls. So, yeah, here he's going to be completely blind inside his cage. It's a little sad, but yeah, this is how it works if you want to build this farm in the Nether. A second option is to use your own Ender portal because it's easy to find in the first place. Because those things formations like this used to be easy to find in the past, but for some random reason now they are all random in the Nether, and we can't basically share coordinates to nice formations like that. So we have to find where they are, and yeah, this is really easy to set up as well. And the inconvenience is that, well, if you fight another dragon by respawning them, well, your setup will be gone. The dragon will probably destroy everything. So yeah, this is the inconvenience. But if you don't care about that, we'll show you how to build your cage around here. But you can use this if you want. The problem is also in the Nether, you need more space to build other structures around the cage, which I tried to minimize, but still you have to break more bedrock. So you have to make use of bugs in the game in order to get rid of the bedrock in the Nether dimension so that you can place the redstone around it. This is the problem. Okay, so let's work with this one for now so that we don't have to worry about this. Okay, so for this one, we need the wither to not be at the very center of this thing because it will suffocate inside bedrock. So you need to get rid of this portal block in here. So you can just place a water bucket in there, and then the portal block is going to be gone. And here, mark that this is the very center of your portal, and this is not where you want your wither boss to be. Your wither boss is actually going to be in front of it, just like here, just here, I mean. And then here is where you want to spawn your wither boss, okay? So yeah, same thing, just place your cobblestone wall, 3 skulls, and yeah, as you can see, he's not getting teleported by the portal, and he's going to explode in a few seconds. So let's see that. Take some distance. All right. Yeah, and he's not trying to destroy anything around him for now. Yeah. And now, just to be safe, the good thing to do is to cover this guy. I'll just switch to game mode survival now so that you can see that this guy cannot see me. He's looking at me, but he's not trying to shoot projectiles at me. I am in survival mode, very close to him. Like if I really try, he can he can possibly hit me. But just to show you guys that you can do this in survival. All right. So if I place the block here, he's going to be completely blind, and this is something that we want to make sure. Okay. So back to creative. Let me pick this block. A good thing to do here also, just to make sure you're not going to dive inside the portal, is to cover everything you can. You can have, for instance, a trapdoor in here if you want to jump inside the portal. So the portal is still going to be usable, but yeah, you just have to make sure that this guy is going to be virtually blind. Okay, so we need a piston in there, so I think we can place a piston facing down like so. Okay, like this, and then we use another piston to push this guy. So let me grab a redstone block, and yeah, now this piston is going to be in position. So this is where your machine starts. Okay, so the wither boss is going to be able to break blocks above the cobblestone walls within this 3x3 area in here. So we want to make sure that items are not going to pop out of the farm. So a good idea here is to just isolate the entire farm like this. Yeah, we don't actually need to close this side in here. Only I think this block. Yeah, and this is going to be the complete thing. Okay, so now we can place, well, another thing is, in my tests, it's a good idea to have uh, movable blocks in here. So furnaces or obsidian will do. It doesn't really break, but sometimes I saw wood in here and I don't really know the reason. So especially on servers where it can get lag spikes, it's a good idea to have the obsidian here. Whenever I had this problem, this basically fixed it. Okay, so here I think is a good place as any for us to have our double chest. So you can have hoppers pointing towards it. You can have another hopper in here, and basically every hopper is going to take to conduct itself to towards this way, and then get inside the chests, and we can keep extending the chest. I have to get used to the new chest placement in 1.13. Okay, and yeah, this is good storage for you. Okay, so now we need a detection system. So I'm gonna place my leaves in here. So it's lined up with the cobblestone wall in the very center in here. And on top of it, we are going to have a observer block. So now I'm going to destroy yet another portal block, but you don't really need to do that. I will show you a way around in case you don't want to destroy yet another portal block from your map. So I just need to place water here once again, then a node block, another observer, solid block, and then repeater on 2 ticks. Right, so let me pick a wood block with me now. So if wood is detected in here, the wither is going to get hit. So yeah, it changed its color and exploded the block. So any blocks in this region will be automatically destroyed once wood is detected near that block, just like you see here. So if I place here, you can see that this block punches the wither boss. So yeah. Once again, if you don't want to destroy that second portal block in there, you can do a small change in here by placing three blocks of leaves in there, and I can actually use a iron door here. Okay, just like so. So observer on top of this little tube, and then we can use our door in here. This would be a portal block in this case, and then we would have our second observer block in there, and it works the same. So let me place another log in there, and yeah, it works the same, guys. So yeah, here you can see the collection system. Okay, so yeah, time to move on. Okay, I'll start putting some structures in here, and at this point you basically have to adapt, especially considering especially if you're building this in the nether. So yeah, just keep in mind that you have to respect the push limit for pistons, which is 12. So maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, 6 blocks should be fine in here, and I will place some pistons just as a reference. So here is where we're going to have the 6 pistons that push the 5 blocks in. We actually only need 5 pistons in here, but I placed 6 just to be safe. And we also have a pair of pistons right there, this height. So I know that from here, 1, 2, 3 blocks down, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Here is where I can have another piston like this for the compressor. Here maybe 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks. In here is where I can have my conveyor. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pistons. This is not really clear now, but it will be. Don't worry. All right, and this is where the conveyor starts. So it gets the output or its input directly from the farm's output. So let's see the maximum distance. So this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So yeah, it can push 12 blocks. So you could have a piston here. This is the maximum distance that the farm can be. if I have a dirt block on me now, so yeah, this is a safe place to have your dirt. I want to have those 11 blocks apart, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I think, yeah, maybe there could be a good place to start the farm. Okay, start by placing a observer facing up, and then we should have a dropper followed by a dispenser. So not two droppers, guys, dropper followed by dispenser. And here we have another observer, and this is going to create a clock for the bonemeal dispenser. This clock is going to be activated and deactivated by this piston in here, and then we're going to have a piston placing a redstone block at its back. And on top of this guy, we want to have a few slabs. We actually only need one slab, but this is also going to define the entrance to your place. So this is how you turn it on, and when you step out of it, it's going to turn the system off. Okay, diagonal to the pressure plate is where your dropper for the saplings is going to be. So all the hoppers need to connect to it. So place 3 hoppers on a line like this, and I will do a simple placement in here. So, and then we will change it later. So the hoppers go like this. Yeah, better if I show this from the bottom. So they go like this, and yeah, they feed in here. But if you want to eventually connect a item filter in here to get rid of the apples, the filter is going to be right here, so where this block is. So the item filter is going to be right there. So you have to redirect this hopper to face this way. Oh my god, I can't place it. Okay, yeah, you have to redirect this guy like this, and the filter will work properly in case you want it. All right, so now let's work on the detection system. So the detection is going to consist of a comparator. On top of this thing, you can hold shift to place it there. I don't need, but I want to use a log in here. So for this first line in there, and this connects to a piston and an observer. And then here we have a repeater on 2 ticks. And where is my note block? Yeah, we use a note block here as an updater, another sticky piston, and a redstone block to make sure that this doesn't turn off too quickly. So yeah, this is going to be your detection system. The detection system is also responsible for powering those dispensers. So you can send a pulse in here. And if you want to be extra cautious, you might also want to add another observer in here with a solid block. Those are optional, and this just makes sure that there's always going to be one item inside the top dropper. Okay, so when this extends, it's going to touch this block with a rail on top. So from this block, you count 3 on this side and 7 on the other side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you're going to have a total of 11 rails on top of everything. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So yeah, this is how this goes. And here, well, there is an optional system that you can build in here, which is to make costs cheaper in terms of bone meal. So you don't need to build this, but I will show you how to build it anyway. So you place a torch here, and then a redstone block in there. Connect 2 more of those. So first one here, and the second one in there. And then you have a piston holding this guy. And what this does is, let me place some bone meal inside this thing. So I will just for demonstration purposes. So once we have bone meal in here, right? When the sapling becomes a solid block, this happens. So it's a quick pulse that deactivates the bone meal dispenser in here, so that it turns off. It turns back on quickly, and then it's also going to activate the rail line, as you can see in here, and then this is also going to power the double piston extenders and everything else. All right, time to build the detectors. So on each end, of this rail line, you're going to have some pistons, and then we're going to have an alternating pattern. So you're going to build this 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And where you see redstone blocks, you place observers. And on the top here, another observer, followed by a solid block, followed by another regular piston. So this piston and this other piston, those are both not sticky pistons. And then we can proceed by placing solid blocks in front of everything in here, and also doing this pattern and placing repeaters on top of everything. So I think I can get rid of this block for now. Okay, so repeaters facing this way. Okay, so this little structure here, we're going to replicate a mirrored copy of this on this other side. Okay, this is how it looks after the 2 towers are built. And I also placed a ring of log blocks around this thing. You can have any blocks that you want around here, but soon enough you have to switch to logs. Okay, so now I'm gonna call this side the dispenser side and this side the comparator side, because it's easy to reference this way. So on the dispenser side, you want to have solid blocks in these positions, and you need to set all of those repeaters to 4 ticks. Alright, and on the comparator side, in the same positions, you want to have note blocks. So some people tested it by using droppers. They're named droppers instead of note blocks, and this worked in Minecraft 1.12 in this case. So yeah, and also I forgot to mention, but if you want to run a quick test here on the detectors, you just have to power the rails in here. So if you power the rails, yeah, this thing will fire. If you power them in the middle, they are both going to fire. So yeah, this thing gets power from this specifically, so both will fire. So just to make sure that everything works in there. Okay, so yeah, this is a small change that we're going to do to the double extenders. This is different from what we had in the previous version. So you hold shift and place observers against those, and place 4 more in here, just like so. And on the other side, you just need to place them exactly in front of the observer blocks. So this is going to be easy enough. Okay. Now, with the exception of the first block, of the first redstone block, you are going to extend these 6 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you're going to place either golden rails on top of these things or activator rails. So they both work like so. And from this corner here, we can place 4 observer blocks like this, and finally 4 more, so 12 in total. And we need to fill those gaps. So I like to use glass in here, but you can use any block. So as I mentioned before, these are going to work as item elevators as well. So you really need to fill those gaps in. And we're going to do the exact same thing on this opposite side. Okay, so I just replicated this on the opposite side, and I also placed 30 sticky pistons in there. And I also placed carpets in here. The reason why I want to have carpets in these specific positions is so that leaves are not going to grow here when you plant oak saplings in there. So we should have more pistons in here. So it's a ton of pistons already, like a stack of pistons just from those sides. And then here is where you start placing your double piston extenders. So it's going to be 7 pairs in total, so 14 extra. And those are useful for both pushing the logs as well as destroying the leaves. So at this point here, you need to use wood logs. This is the simplest thing to do. If you place other types of blocks in here, the oak trees are going to take a lot longer to grow, and the birch trees will never grow. So yeah, this is very important. Here you also need solid blocks, so I'm gonna have it like this and this. And here, just to be sure, I want to place logs on these corners in here. They're not going to show, but you need those to be logs as well. You cannot have those being glass or anything like that. Okay, and finally here, also more logs. Trying to do a little bit of decoration in here. You can change the style if you want, like if you want to have a stripe like this. Yeah, let's just do that, just for a change. Okay, so this is how it's going to look from the inside. We can also build a little frame here, I guess. Yeah. And yeah, we're now going to work a little bit on the top. Okay, first of all, let's fill some areas. You can place glass in this column here, leave 2 blocks for the player to be able to go in, and the trees are going to grow 5 tall. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So some of you guys reported that some trees, in very rare cases, are growing up to 6 high. This could be a problem. So you can have obsidian in here, which is a little bit ugly, but will basically prevent this the 6 high trees from moving around. As I told you guys, I tested this for many hours and this never happened, so I wasn't able to replicate it. But also we can lower the ceiling, and we might do that in the end. Okay, so this controlling here is optional, and even if you don't do that, you're going to get enough saplings. So yeah, just place those observers in there and solid blocks in here. I don't know why I'm doing the both sides at the same time, since I only need to do one of those. Okay, so repeaters on 3 ticks and 4 more sticky pistons, and then you want to have open fence gates in there. You also want to have 1 open fence gate right here. And yeah, let's do the other side. Alright, so both sides are the same. And to close things up, you need to know that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is the space that you actually need. So yeah, you can place your glass block here as a reference. And here it's a good idea to have leaf blocks like this. So those leaves yeah, will be like so. And then here you can cover those with glass. You need to make sure that those blocks are not solid like those, because if they are solid, they're going to butt power those pistons down here, and yeah, we don't want that. And here you can basically cover everything up, but you need to leave a gap in there. So this is how you close up the structure. And here at the back, the double piston extenders are also going to create a item elevator. So it's a good idea to fill in those blocks. So yeah, place fillers on those places in here. So this is how it looks with the filler blocks in. I like to fill this corner as well, but I don't think this is strictly necessary. Let me check just once more. Yeah, the item elevator is going to be, yeah, this is going to, these pistons may be the center of the item elevator. So yeah, you might want to cover also this corner in here. If in doubt, you can basically place glass everywhere, but you don't need to do so. Those blocks are also a good idea to cover. Yeah, I forgot. And in any case, if you see any saplings in these areas, all you need to do is to place more glass blocks in there. Okay, so all sealed. Let's check the opposite side now. So yeah, they all have glass in there. Let's fill up those tubes. Those are the strictly necessary blocks here, and those are the extra blocks that you don't really need to care about. Okay, I will fill everything just because I like the looks. Yeah, also fill those. Those are useless. You definitely don't need to fill those in. Okay. Yeah, and now this, it's a good time as I need to run a quick test. So you can just place a solid block in here and see what happens. But of course, you need to have bone meal inside this thing, otherwise the comparator is not going to activate. And as you can see, it's working. Let's place, if we step on top of the pressure plate, this should be firing particles. Place the solid block and everything gets in action. Okay, now to show you a very simple way of connecting the bone meal, just place your hoppers in there. You can hold shift and expand this to, well, as far as you want. I like to also have hoppers in these directions, and then you can place your chests, your double chests actually, in such fashion, and then you can place your item frames, you can have your bone meal there, and make sure to fill those up. Alright, so I placed the chest with the items inside and a floor in here. And these walls will, guess what? They will also act as item elevators, so make sure to have walls in there. The important blocks to fill up are those in here, and yeah, those at the corner are optional. They're here just to make things look a little bit better. Yeah, I'll also add some decorative thingies in here, maybe, possibly, like this. And yeah, we'll do the same on the other side. Yeah, so it looks a little bit nicer. Okay, so I think it's time to test this thing with a sapling. We can place maybe half a stack of the birch type in here, half a stack of the oak sapling here, step on the pressure plate and hold your mouse button in here. And yeah, trees are starting to grow. So this first one grew successfully. I can aim at the corner of that block. And yeah, as you can see, things are growing nicely in here. So now let's try some birch. And as you can see, we are getting new items in here. So apples are already in there because I didn't build the filter for this one. Yeah. Let's try another birch. Yet another birch. Okay, let's take a look. So yeah, the system seems to be producing nicely. Okay, as I tried to demonstrate here, you can turn around or streamline your logs in any way you want, really, with the conveyors, and they are a little bit weird, but they are really simple. So yeah, here I just need one because I wanted to make the tutorial short. But yeah, first I need to do a small fix. So the logs are going to no logs are going to come in here. So this block was supposed to be in there. So yeah, a simple way of doing it, I bet some people are going to comment about it, is like this. The leaves are going to detect the wood blocks and then fire this thing. This even looks nicer, but for some reason this doesn't work. I think it has to do with the update orders. So yeah, you can't use this, unfortunately. So instead, what you're going to do is to power those two pistons at the bottom, like this, and then you will follow the same logic in here. And for this one, you want to use just one solid block there and have your leaf detector one block behind. And if you don't do this like exactly like this, the conveyors will break. This is very strange and took me a while to figure out, but this is unfortunately how things go. And if Mojang ever removes the leaf feature, you can just replace those with observers like this. Okay, for this guy, you want to have 2 node blocks in these positions, and the detection is actually going to be here. So you place, it is actually going to be symmetrical. So 3 observer blocks up and 3 down. Now the horizontal one, so one goes in here, another one in here, another one in here, another one in there. So all of the 4 all facing the pistons, so really simple to memorize. And then one going down from this one and one going up from this other one. So I will pause the video here so you can check your build. And yeah, this should be all fine. And finally, the slightly more complicated one, which is this one. For this, you want to have detection going like so. Yeah, one block below. Okay. It's hard to remember everything, guys. Okay, this is where the detection is going to be done. Okay, so you need 3 of those in here. So one here, another one there, and 2 node blocks like so. And then here we have 3 more observers, and then we have solid blocks in here. If you have, for instance, if you're in the nether and you have bedrock in these positions, it's no problem at all. Those are solid blocks and they will conduct fine. Anything as long as you have solid blocks in there, right? And for the base, finally, you want to have one observer facing down. They have different timings. This is why I wasn't able to reuse most of the circuits in there. You can build a small platform in here, and you can have repeater on 4 ticks, then another observer, then a rail, so you won't interfere with this guy being powered, and then just 2 more observers in there. So a little bit more complicated, this one, right? So I will fly by or fly around it, and you can cover this, not necessarily, but you might want to do that. Okay. Yeah, so everything should be working now. So yeah, I'll make sure that this is pointing towards the correct thing, and we will run our first test. I will just turn on the bone meal dispenser, well, and the sapling placer, and then we can see the farm in action. Okay, so I kind of made a serious mistake back there, which means the entire farm should be 1 block above. So on this map, I just cloned this little structure. I moved it 1 block up, and the structure where the wither boss is, I moved it 1 block up. So hopefully I fixed it with the editing, and you guys caught it during the tutorial. So I'm sorry for that. But it's also a great opportunity for me to mention that if you do something like this in survival and you don't want to rebuild everything, especially this because you can't move this and you don't want to move the entire farm 1 block down, well, you can still fix things using conveyors. So yeah, let me actually destroy this because this was going to be one of the examples. But yeah, one thing that you could do in here is to destroy these and use 1 piston here to move this conveyor. So simple setup like this, and then you would have to move this conveyor up and this structure up and this structure up, and everything would be fixed like it is now. And up here you also would need another piston, so with extra delay. So detector in here and 2 observers for delay. So let me demonstrate how it goes by placing saplings manually. Okay, so they get lifted and moved forward. And let's do this once again. I think 3 or 4 should let things clear. Okay, once it grows. Okay, let's get rid of this just for clarity. So now you can see that the logs actually get lifted in there. And let's place just 1 more, like so. And yeah, they got lifted in here, so you wouldn't need to move the farm or the structures. Well, this little, the end of the structures would have to be moved like this, 1 block up, this 1 block up, which I did with the commands. But yeah, this is how we would fix this in survival. So yeah, this was a big mistake, but I'm glad I did this during the tutorial so I could show you guys how to fix this in survival, actually. Okay, so let's see our new farm in action. I didn't change anything other than moving these blocks 1 up. So yeah, we can see how this works now. So let's watch the compressor. You can see how it moves. It's easier to see when there are no blocks. Easier to see how the pistons on the side move twice and they create this little structure, the donut shaped structure. I don't think this is a donut, right? And in the beginning this is going to be a little bit weird. But it will take shape, yeah, hopefully. And well, I hope the bottom part of the structure catches up, because otherwise we're going to have a little bit of a problem in there, but not a big deal. It's actually a good thing maybe if we have problems now, so that I can show you guys how everything can possibly get fixed. Okay, so everything should be normal now. And yeah, as a result, it created this log in here. I don't think it's going to ever create this log again once you have the final shape done in here. So once the structure gets enough logs in, it will always have this shape in here. So you can basically delete this block. This will never make a difference. Maybe we can change this thing into oak, because the transitions may cause you problems. So let's switch the auto planter thing into oak this time. and see what happens. We're getting a few saplings in there. I mentioned this in my previous video. You don't have to worry about it. You're going to get more than enough saplings in here. Okay, let's check the dispensers here. You can see we have lots and lots of saplings in there. And I hate this lag, guys. And in here we also have a little bit. Yeah, didn't add the filter for the apples. But yeah, as you can see, the different sizes for oak are showing. Okay, let me speed up this process. Okay, from this point you can see the last few birch logs getting inside the system. And let's watch closer the wither cage. In here you can see the items being pulled inside the structure. And this is also why this glass block in here is important, because then no items can land on top of this, because if they do, then they will basically despawn over time. And other items can stack with them, so this is a problem. So that glass block is actually important. And yeah, this is what we are able to collect so far. If you have birch, it will basically break 10 blocks every time when it gets to the stable state. With oak, well, there's more variation. And yeah, this is your farm. This is all the information that I could possibly get to you. If you have any questions, make sure to read the video description. Lots of questions are answered in the video, not the video description, also the video description. If I have any updates to the map downloads that is going to be available, I will update the information in the video description. But also check the comments. People ask questions. If you can't find your question answered in the comments section, then, well, then you have a new question and you should post that question, and I will do my best to answer you. All right, guys. This was a lot of work, but hopefully the tutorial was clear enough for you guys to follow. Sorry about the little mistakes. Hope to see you guys soon, and thank you very much for watching.